Hi guys, I'm Danny, and I started a Sunday gym because I've noticed lately that people tend to go to colleges and universities without actually knowing why they're there. And afterwards, starting jobs that are unfulfilling. So I'm interviewing different professionals to see what they have to say and share their knowledge and experience with you. I hope you enjoy it. Right on, Simona. Welcome to the program. How are you doing today?
Hi, pleased to be here. I'm doing very well. What about you?
Glad to hear. Can't complain myself. It was a rather splendid day. The podcast is going to be focused on three main questions. What do you do for a living? How'd you get there? And how'd you knew that this was the way to go? So tell us what you do for a living. And I'm very excited to have you here because you're actually the youngest person I'm interviewing. So it's going to be
Oh
a
my
very
gosh.
good discussion.
Okay. Well, first of all, that's an honor. I'll be the youngest person in here. So the first question, well, what am I doing for a living? So for a living, I'm a marketing specialist. I like to do pretty much influence the social media with my presence, and I do it for myself, for the company I'm working, or just anyone that wants to have a voice or an ad for their platform or campaign, product, etc. So right now I'm looking for options to expanding my experience, to expanding my work. So that's what's going on right now. That's what I do for a living. I'm job hunting right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Right on. The second question is how'd you get there? And given the fact that you're so young, it's pretty interesting. And this is why I actually wanted you on the program because
Mhm.
although you're rather young, you kind of have the concept within you. You understand what you want to do. And talking to people from all over the world, truth be told, unfortunately, not everybody are in that position. And I'm totally fine when people are losing money. Well, not totally fine, but that happens, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's kind of like accepted, but I'm not fine when people are losing time. Time is basically rather important, at least for me and for many others. So it's good that you already know what you're up to, and this is why I actually wanted to ask you, at this age, how did you get there?
How did I figure it out?
Yeah, no, how did you get there at the current position? Were you walking
Okay,
one day
so
like on the street and you were like, let me do it in marketing, or is there something else?
I think the story is something else. It didn't happen spontaneous. So mainly it came from my dad because he's an entrepreneur. And I love to do projects. I have a lot of idea. I pretty much have what I call myself a creative mind. So I started going to school, at this prestigious school that's in Sofia, Bulgaria. It's called Softuni Svetlina. And it's the first digital, science school. There were three kind of specialties. There was a graphic design, a programming, and business and marketing. So I majored in business and marketing, and it really rubbed on me. It really got the effect of it, and from the past years, since I was growing up, I always had a lot of ideas, and from a very early age, I wanted to have money of my own. I didn't want to be that much dependent on my parents. I really wanted to be that independent young lady. So I started looking for ways to make money, started looking for ideas, business plans, creations of my own. And when I was, I believe, in third grade, or maybe earlier on, like second or first, in the early years of my school years, I had this big idea that I would sell cards, drawn cards from me to others. And the goal was to make 100 cards and then have a big sale of them. It took about 3 months to get myself to do them cards. I had very much so much support from my parents, and my mom helped out a lot. She did a few of the cards, and I was entirely grateful to her because it took off cards of my own, to make them. So the sale came and I made about 35 leva, and those were the finest 35 leva I've ever made. I was so young. I probably didn't even spend them. I was just like so glory, and I was just so glad I did it. It was the first money of my own, and back then it didn't stick to me that 3 months are not worth 35 level.
Yeah.
Don't settle,
But then again,
don't
it's
settle
an
for a job
experience
like
that you
that.
had
Yeah,
to
don't
go
settle
through.
for a job like that. But for my young self, this is one of the proudest moments ever. And then continuing growing up, I had another vision, another idea. I wanted to make a YouTube channel, and because the idea came because I saw a girl from the
If you
next grade.
actually have one right now, I don't know if you do have one right now, but if you do, you can send me the link and I'll put it in the description below when I upload the video.
Okay, so I do have the YouTube channel right now. I'm currently not uploading because it's not a pleasure anymore to upload, and I don't have the time to upload that much. So it's just a stop, and it's a work in progress, which
Yeah, but
I
it's there,
don't
so it
know.
doesn't
Yeah,
really
I don't
matter.
know at the time if I'll go back to it, but the story is very interesting to how I got there. So I was in the fourth grade or the third, yeah, in fourth grade. And it was 2015, I believe. Yeah. So what happened is that a girl from the next grade, um, fifth grade, yeah, she had already a YouTube channel, and she posted all kinds of videos, and I thought that was brilliant. I thought for some reason that was the coolest thing ever. Anyone can do, anyone can participate. That was so cool, and she was like so brave, and she was out there. I had so many questions, and like I had so many ideas for videos, and I didn't even know the concept of the video. I just had the idea for it. So what happened is I told my dad, and he was like, okay, do it. And I was like, okay, I'm doing it. And I started my very own YouTube channel. At first, it was called by my name, Simona Staneva. And then it took a few changes. And
Well, we
now
can
it's,
we can put the name afterwards. You don't really need to put it out there right now. So,
yeah. So
but I love that concept of a young mind. What that actually is. Well, you've been influenced, but not only you've been influenced, and this is why I always adore speaking to people who are coming from the standard two-parent household, because when a child is growing up in that kind of an environment, trust me, there's a difference. So it's really remarkable that you basically had your father backing you up, your mother helping you with this and that, because it really shapes you as a person, and it shapes you in a way that's pretty solid and pretty good. So congrats about that, and tell you folks they did a good job, right?
I will tell them.
The third
The funny
question
thing
is,
about
how did you knew that this was the path for you? How did you knew that this was for you? And the reason I'm asking is a little bit controversial because I'm sure you've noticed it yourself, either one way or another. The people tend to go to colleges and universities because of that stigma that they have to have a diploma, right? And this is worldwide. It's not only here in Europe, it's everywhere. And it drives people crazy because they have to have that diploma. And don't get me wrong, I graduated bachelor degree, I have my master's degree, I'm about to do a PhD, so obviously not against universities at all, but I'm not a fan of the idea that people should lose their time over there, start jobs that clearly aren't for them, because it's absolutely impossible for anyone to be happy by doing something every day, all day that they don't like. It doesn't work like that. And it's something that it's a problem, and it's a problem that it's not being discussed. And that's actually why I started the whole thing. And that's actually why I'm doing everything. So how did you personally knew that this was the way to go?
Well, once I started in school, I pretty much was like, yeah, that's for me. I like to talk to people. I like to create things. That's for me. That's it. I wasn't sure what I wanted to pursue in college and whatnot, but in 10th grade, I kind of had that panic, what would I do outside school? What would happen to me after 12th grade? And I started looking and exploring college options and other things. And I started to understand more about programs and topics, what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do. So it was pretty easy because I know myself and I started from what I don't like. And then it just slowly, there were just a few options that I would like to pursue in college. And one of them, of course, was business because that's what I've been studying so far. And I started doing, to see what kind of majors are in business, because it could be financial, it could be economics, it could be management, it could be PR, and not every major is for me. I'm not, like, for example, I'm not a PR type of gal, so I would prefer economics and finance. So yeah, that's how I knew.
That's actually a brilliant answer, and I really love when you said that you actually knew yourself. We in general know ourselves, but because of other influences and stuff like that, we kind of lose it. Because when you
Yeah.
know yourself, it's pretty easy to navigate yourself from there on. And it's pretty easy for you to understand what you're good at and what you're not good at. I like when you said that you're not in that PR thing, because there's no shame in admitting that you can't do something. I mean, nobody's meant to do everything, right? So it's perfect. And this is why I wanted you here, because yeah, you really do know yourself. That's a pretty good thing. It's very useful, and trust me, it's gonna serve you to the end of your day. So perfect answer. Is there like something you would like to add for the last couple of moments here?
Okay, my one and only question to you would be like, what was it like you growing up in school? How did you figure it out?
Well, actually, because I'm mostly involved in a financial department, so I've been involved there for like more than a decade. I, just like you, I always knew that I was going to work in an office.
Mhm,
Because I was about 14, 15 when I knew that. I didn't know I was going to be in finance, but I knew it was going to be office related. Now,
mhm.
at the end of high school, I think I graduated agricultural management, so I knew it was going to be finance. And from there, it was basically very easy from there.
Yeah,
I
okay.
never really had, I have a few additional qualifications just in case, but I got them just so that, better be safe than sorry. You can always be without a job for some time, and if you don't have anyone to rely to, it's better to have an additional qualification. You don't have to like it, you just have to be qualified in something else to cover it up for a couple of months to land on your feet. So yeah, but just like you, I always knew myself, and I also grew up in a two parents household, which helped a lot. So it
Yeah.
was basically like that.
Okay. Well, good answer, I guess.
Right on. Well, with that said, huge thank you for being here. All the best, and see ya.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Guys, I hope this one was useful. Please follow the channel on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Gap, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Ring the bell and all the good stuff. Have a nice week ahead, and I'll see you next Sunday.